And we are live. Welcome to a special edition of the Digital Renegade podcast. But we're going to try to do something different today. I'm with my host, Artistic Layman.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Excellent. Today we're going to try something a bit new, or rather something completely different. We're going to try to do a Riff tracked episode. We're going to try to do as much as we can until YouTube either just wipes us out and gives us a copyright strike for being bad people and whatnot. But we wanted to do this mostly as sort of like a Mystery Science 3000 sort of shtick. And we wanted to start with Aldous Huxley's Brave New World 1980s by the BBC. So it's going to get copyright striked eventually. But yeah, let's pursue with it. Let's just see how, just give commentary over. We don't have to stop it. Just don't stop it, whatever you do, Luke.
So
Unless we actually
keep in
have
mind,
to.
I haven't seen this version yet. So have you?
I haven't seen it either. Yeah.
So this will be a new experience for both of us.
Well, I've seen it, but I let's just say it. Let's just play it. By Smackhead. Isn't that the guy from 2001?
I like to think so.
Maybe. Marcella Strassman. That's pretty cool. Oh, how do you have a guest star in a movie? That's always one thing I never got.
Well, it is a 3-hour long feature, so maybe it's like a TV series.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Remember this one time I watched a Frankenstein movie that was 3 hours long, but was a TV miniseries.
Hello. Welcome.
Bottom level, orange beam, enjoy yourself. Bottom level, orange beam, enjoy yourself.
This is in the 1980s.
Orange beam, enjoy yourself.
What's happening here?
This is a group of semi-moron epsilons that are going on a nature nausea reinforcement field trip to...
I can see that.
Semi-morons.
I meant what's taking you so long.
Oh, right away, sir. There you are, all set.
Midwits.
Bottom level, orange beam, enjoy yourself. Now, sir.
Central Hatchery's plan. Priority.
I'm sorry, sir. There's a circuit delay.
Oh, next.
The Cathedral of our Ford, please. Just a moment. If you don't mind. I don't think you understood. I said priority. I happen to be the assistant director of the Central Hatchery's plant.
Oh, it is the guy. It
Yes,
is
sir.
Dave.
All circuit check.
That's interesting.
Really? These gammas. They're hardly brighter than a delta.
Fucking
Epsilon.
gammas. Goddamn
Oh, no.
gamma males.
I'm sure any delta
Fox
is
Station
much
love
brighter
this.
than epsilons like those. That's one of the wonderful things about being a gamma. We're not too stupid and we're not too bright. To be a gamma is to be just right. All
Now,
right,
if only
sir.
the gamma males in Fox Day's hierarchy could be like that.
Central hatcheries, red beam,
Useful.
first level.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
The Cathedral of our Ford, please.
The Cathedral of our Ford. First level, blue beam.
So this is basically, I assume they all do bitch work.
They're computers.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
Oh, the
directories.
Cathedral of our Ford. Then I suppose you're part of the Archfreud Synth religion staff.
No, I'm just trying to catch hold of someone who's supposed to be there. Actually, I'm with the Sensu Feely Corps.
Oh, a Telly-Feely writer.
Not yet. I'm still working on my first docu-jango short. It's on the perfection of conditioning.
Oh, yes. Very interesting. Sure. Well, I go this way.
Smug.
this is like Logan's Run levels of weirdness.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking weird. Look at the T.
Miss Lysenko, may I see you for a moment, please?
They worship Henry Ford.
Hello, Tomakin.
I might have a little surprise for little Linda.
Oh, what? Tell me.
It has something to do with taking you on a very special computer holiday trip.
I don't know. Ringo Roebuck wants me to go with him to the Sexorama Festival.
What?
And Anwar Bowie wants to take me
Sexorama
for a
Festival,
week to a new
folks.
Sensor World Park. And Ronald Jagger has round-trip
Something
tickets
special?
to...
Savage Reservation.
Oh, that's
So pornography is
different.
legal in this world.
Everyone will be so envious. But are you sure about it?
Oh, it's just a formality. Just a question of my application being correctly. Miss Lysenko, why is this section closed down?
Lysenko.
Something that was supposed to go click, click started going clack, clack. But naturally, I wouldn't know what. I'm just a beta.
Of course.
Linda,
It's a thought.
I have to go now, Tomikin.
Of course.
I'm just a beta. That couldn't
Artificial
clip.
sunset has been reset for 6:04 due to technical delays.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, when they say the Church of Ford, they mean Henry Ford.
Artificial
Everyone.
sunset has been reset for 6:04 due to technical delays.
Sir, your assistant Fortune, sir?
Yes? Oh, Helmholtz Watson. About teletesting your docu-short.
I know you're very busy, sir, but I do need approval from your office.
I have to address some alpha graduates in synthoculture, and then a meeting with the committee on consumption norms and standards.
Uh-oh.
Yes, right after that, I think.
Uh-oh.
One thing I always love about old films is that they know how to hold a camera steady, not like shaking nonsense.
All for more
Or is bad for business.
means more for all.
Yeah, it is bad for business, man.
It can be used. And if it can be used, it can be made. History is bunk. Half the time equals double the yield. War is bad for business.
Yes, it is.
As select alphas, conditioned to believe without knowing and to know without believing, you have been chosen to view the surrogate revelations and synthetic mysteries upon which all perfect and placebo belief is founded. Here before you are sacred teletime plex relics of the sanctified life, thought, and holy works of our four, from whose divine inspiration came the ultimate perfection of the endless assembly line, which has given us
That's
the
sophistry.
ultimate, endless,
At least
perfect
they didn't
happiness
worship
of
Henry
more
Ford.
things, for more wants in
They
perfect
worship someone
balance,
worse.
They
with
worship
more
Elon
wants
Musk.
for more things.
And it is from our inspired creator of the Model T that we derive our blessed sign of the T. Let us now repeat the catechism. Community. Community. Identity. Identity. Stability. Stability. Ford bless you.
Sounds like the frickin'
I am Muscle
something Spencer
Foman,
would say.
assistant controller to her Ford chip, Nixona Bic, Western World controller, and I have been assigned to show you certain selected histobunk highlights from the past.
But everything is perfect now, and everything will always be perfect. So what does it matter what things were like when it wasn't perfect?
Excellent point, but quite misguided. Exposing future stability monitors, such as yourself, to the imperfection of the past is, of course, part of the perfection of the present. Centuries ago, in primitive times, before the dawn of civilization, there were things that would be inconceivable to us today. Such things as poverty. Although there was actually land and food in abundance, some starved, because unlike our perfect society, they were unable or unwilling to balance population to consumption.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes too much of one, or too little of the other. The result? Disease. And rather than eradicate the sources of disease as we have done, the superstitious primitives continue to rely upon a quite useless class of technicians called doctors. Violence, which the ancients actually appear to have enjoyed and reveled in. While we have been perfectly conditioned to want only what we have, and to have only what we want, and are therefore always happy, the uncivilized ancients were prey to destructive emotions, such as ambition,
All the same
hate,
things.
and love,
Uh-oh.
which of course always led to violence, which in turn naturally led only to more violence. And senility, while we remain at the prime metabolic age of 35 to ensure a maximum level of useful consumption until painless death from chemostimulation between the ages of 80 and 90, the people of the past lacked the knowledge of how to stay young, even though they apparently valued youth so highly that they actually indulged in superstitious self-mutilation. As seminarians who will one day take your places in synthoculture stability centers, you must face these histobunk facts, unpleasant and even revolting as they sometimes are. Eating the actual flesh of animals.
Oh god, they're all vegans.
And even filthy things from the ground.
That's impossible. How are
And
they so healthy?
sometimes
They look so
refusing to
healthy.
engage with more than one individual of the opposite sex.
Wait, what?
No monogamy?
And even collecting into groups called families.
Oh.
A pervasively immoral concept of pre-civilized times.
They're communists.
Yes, thoroughly disgusting examples of complete sexual perversion, as you can see.
Did the primitive females actually...
Yes. Primitive females gave viviparous birth to young.
Oh no.
like animals?
Yes, physiologically, exactly like animals. I understand your reactions. Perhaps we should take a brief soma break.
Oh god. They're taking the Xanax cocktail. Here comes the little incels. The little spurgs.
Naturally, none of what you have seen would be shown to betas or gammas, much less to deltas like these. But each of you is an alpha. You weren't mass-produced in computer-cloned Bakhanovsky batches. And you are all supremely happy, supremely content. But then, that is truly the perfection of our civilization. Everyone is adjusted. Everyone has been conditioned to want to do the work he has to do. And thus, everyone is perfectly happy.
Why do I get
perfectly
community
content.
college vibes
Alphas
out
like
of this
you,
guy?
Betas, gammas, deltas like these, or even epsilons. Are you happy?
Happiness for all is happiness for each.
Are you glad to be deltas?
Deltas all have lots of fun. Deltas get to play and run.
Very good. But do you wish you had been incubated as alphas?
No, no.
Excellent.
Boy.
This
That's
is
all.
creepy.
This is some creepy shit, dude. It gets even weirder. I've seen this shit before.
I'm really enjoying this, actually.
Could you flash into the assistant director, please?
I think she's occupied, sir.
I've been so depraved with good entertainment. This is really enjoyable.
Miss Trotsky, there seems to be a
What?
production slowdown. There'll have to be a time and motion inspection.
Some meaningful entertainment to watch.
Miss Trotsky?
Trotsky. Who are these people?
There you are. I couldn't find you.
Oh, that's right, I forgot. I was going to engage you in leisure hour today.
Oh, that's
Wait.
all right. I may do. Anyway, it was about something else. It was a data transmission for you from the controller's office.
Oh, about my trip, no doubt. The Savage Reservation, you know.
Yes. I think they're canceling it on you.
Aw.
Cancelled? They couldn't. They wouldn't. Not when I've made plans to.
What?
Where is it?
In the file.
Bullshit. They have like 2 or 3 actors for the fucking gammas because they're all the same. Should gammas still strive to become deltas? Is this all true? I don't really fucking know, dude. I mean, this is all some acid trip of
There must be some
fucking
mistake.
smackhead.
I had everything planned. How would something like that look on my computer file?
You better take a soma.
Yes, that's just the thing.
Yeah,
Here
take,
you are, sir.
take a fucking Xanax. There you go, Adderall. Fucking Adderall.
I guess you won't be going on your vacation now.
Well, we'll see about that. It so happens I know someone quite important in the controller's office. Quite important, in fact. Mustafa Mond, first assistant to her lordship Nixona Bink. Yes, we'll just see about that.
Alrighty. Such rampant drug use.
You are viewing Helmholtz-Watson's film, Planned Perfection. Each newly produced infant is given 6 full years of nightly hypnopedic sleep-teach lectures to reinforce class acceptance conditioning.
Uh-oh.
Later, in central conditioning centers like this, each child receives daily happiness reinforcement drills, as well as prescribed courses in erotic play, death acceptance training, full consumption practice, and nature nausea games. Then, upon reaching computer lessons after 6 more years in a final conditioning school, each happy, healthy individual will go forth to take up his or her predestined place in the greater society, dedicated to ensuring the continuing
Wait,
perfection
his name's Mustafa
community,
Mon. We have Cass.
identity, stability.
This is like India. This is what India is going to become.
Very nicely packaged.
Taking their fucking H1Bs.
The whole film, I
So
mean.
boring,
Oh,
though.
immensely. You caught the
Can't imagine
whole
the SJW
spirit of
enjoying this.
unchanging perfection, and with admirable simplicity. I'm glad I had a chance to see it before it's computer erased and electro shredded.
Computer erased. Electro shredded.
Unfortunately, it does contain some dangerously heretical ideas.
I made every effort to keep ideas out of it.
Take the scene on anti-nature conditioning. Charming scene of little children revolted by fresh flowers. The implication is that nature nausea conditioning is necessary to keep people from enjoying the countryside and thus under-consuming.
But that's true.
Quite besides the point.
I just wanted to show why nature nausea training is one of our most recent improvements in...
You see? Recent implies past. Improvement implies progress. And if the present is perfect, then there can't be any progress, of course. And even the word why.
India Superpower
That's the
2050.
most dangerous of all. It raises the whole question of purpose.
Everything is in the moment.
No, I'm afraid it would
literally.
never do to let an ordinary audience watch anything quite as dangerous as your docu-short.
But the test audience watched it. They all liked it. You can see right there.
Quite meaningless, since they've been conditioned to like anything that's shown them.
Then why not show it to them? Again, why not show
Oh,
it to them
word.
if they've been conditioned?
Exactly
What the fuck
the
do they
point.
care?
Thousands and thousands of feet of film consumed. Hours and hours of work expended by technicians. And once it's been erased and shredded, it can be done all over again. Remember your sleep talk. Don't delay. Consume today. Use it up and throw it away.
This shit, so wasteful. Waste of fucking. Wow.
Recycling.
You know, this is like the Coomer, not the Coomer. What's it called? The consumer.
I'll make a special
You know,
effort to
buy
keep ideas
old
out the next
products, wait for
Commendable.
new products.
You know, I'm reaching the age of
No,
50
that's all they
now,
want.
but I still remember my own youth. And I'm sure I had just as many deviant ideas as you do. I even composed a scandalous readout myself once. I think it was something about the possible benefits of allowing mutational differentiation in randomly selected embryos. An interesting idea, but dangerous in the wrong hands, of course. How old are you exactly, Helmholtz?
25.
25. Just think. By the time you reach my age, you'll have been able to have accomplished this dozens and dozens of times. Good work. Just keep it up.
Consume, don't ask questions, consume product, and then get excited for next products. That's the meme, right? Like, seriously.
Perpetual balanced consumption.
It's pretty fucked up. I mean,
You don't
where's
even own new stuff. You don't even own new stuff. You just have old stuff. You
Sir, your
use
case
over
is
again.
being circuit checked through computer files.
Why?
I'm supposed to get all the reports on you.
Reports? Oh, from my superior.
Who?
Alice B. Stein, the director of Central Hatcheries.
I wouldn't know. Oh, you can go in now, sir.
I sent this to Owen Benjamin. I wanted to see what his take on it is. Because you know his take's going to be really
Here
fucking
it is.
interesting.
Controller confirmation of restriction for Thomas Graham Bell, subject to overview discretion by the Director of Stability Norms.
But there must be a mistake. Is that all it says?
Oh, look for yourself.
But I'm sure there's some mistake. You can check my computer record. I have exceeded consumption and pleasure norms on each of my free vacations. And so I'm eligible now for a free vacation.
Wait, free vacation?
This director of stability norms, who's that?
I am.
Of course, it's a Indian.
Well, I'm sure you know about this.
Mistake? But I'm afraid it isn't, Thomas. You see, actually, I'm the one who requested the official overview.
I get like a very chaotic, like neutral evil vibe off
The
that
Savage
guy.
Reservation can be dangerous. Oh, not in the physical sense, but in other ways. You see, these primitives are not at all like, say, the Quakerites who were driven into the Yukon. No, these primitives are quite different. They have actually regressed into an ancient form of tribal society.
Their ways are so directly opposite to ours that it can cause a very disturbing effect. As a matter of fact, several previous visitors had to be sent to emotional reengineering institutes.
They get triggered.
Naturally, we couldn't chance that happening to someone in your position.
Naturally. But you visited the Savage Reservation. Everyone knows that. It certainly hasn't affected you in any way.
Perhaps not. But then my predestination conditioning is to accept the unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm
yours is
the
to attain
Brahmin
the
cat,
attainable.
don't you know?
It's quite different.
It's okay when I
But,
do it.
how can I attain the attainable without something unique like this on my computer file?
Yes. A valid point. I'll take it into consideration.
When? I mean, I'm planning on leaving tomorrow morning, so if there's any way I could get an immediate clearance.
Of course, you could go over my head to the controller's office.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't?
Well, I wouldn't want to.
I see. But if you had to, you would.
Yes.
Mawina, put that permission order through for him.
Thank you. Thank you.
One thing. You shouldn't go to the Savage Reservation alone. Take a female along, preferably one with definite anti-deviant morality training.
I've already taken care of that. I've engaged several extra females over the past few weeks, precisely to pick out the proper one. Linda Lysenko, one of the fertilization technicians at the plant. A well-conditioned beta minus.
Lysenko. Fertilization.
Who the hell's Lysenko?
Trophin Lysenko, who invented Lysenkoism. He created the idea that plants had a certain proletariat solidarity, and therefore they wouldn't compete with each other. If
Did you pick it all up, Mawina?
Thus killing
Yes,
plant
everything's
life.
programmed into his computer file.
What's his readout?
Oh, he was one of those retards who created a bunch of fucking
That's quite acceptable with his conditioning
poverty
level.
or whatever.
A communist thinker.
I think he
on
can
farms.
continue to be considered for an upper management post, don't you?
Yes. But I can't help finding him just a little...
Pompous.
Yes.
Self-serving.
Yes.
You see, solid managerial potential.
But he's so dull.
With Alpha's conditioned for upper-level executive duties like Thomas, being dull is an absolute necessity. It vastly increases their ability to think rigidly and inflexibly.
This is like a really fucking weird film, honestly. But I think it's the BBC. What can you expect from them?
Here I am, Assistant Director. What? About the production quota inspection request from your office.
Oh, yes, of course, of course.
Here, we've been able to speed up the stunning of Epsilon semi-morons. An extra half batch a week.
Oh God, they're retarding
Well,
people.
I hope they'll still be able to perform the necessary work.
Of course, speeding up the production of gammas and deltas without performance loss is more difficult. But even sub-deltas can still perform routine jobs, sorting, filing, collecting audiometer results, that sort of thing. Of course, there's nothing to be done about alpha and beta production. One egg, one bag. Unfortunately, it still takes 9 months.
This is like
Even
shit.
Even increased surrogate endocrine transfusion.
Yes. Pardon me, but I really must take care of something. It's an administrative detail.
Jesus.
They really do get the tone of this dystopian world buried down very well.
Yeah, if like honestly,
Oh, Tommykin, it's you. Look what you made me do.
Everything's set for the trip to the Savage Reservation. Unless, of course, you're not interested now.
Oh, I am, Tommykin, I am. When?
We're catching the early rocket tomorrow morning.
Oh, the early rocket?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Well, it's just that I'm engaging one of the Beta Plus decanters tonight, Adolf Rockefeller. You know, the cute one with the curly eyebrows. And we were going to spend the night at his apartment. But we can spend the night at my place. It's much closer to the rocket port.
They're
Unless
fucking
you'd rather
each other.
engage me tonight. I'm sure I could rearrange my plans.
Oh, no. I've already engaged you twice last week, and you know how people gossip. Suppose they start whispering that I have immorally limited my engagements to just one female. Got my reputation to think of.
Engaging, meaning they're fucking each other.
I've never engaged him before, but all the girls in decanting say he's very good. And he's so cute with his curly eyebrows.
Oh my God, they're all hot.
Feeling
Hot.
Children.
where this alpha erotic counselor becomes a delta pleasure technician by mistake when she... Well, I'm not exactly sure what happens, but everyone says the applied religious origin...
She literally sounds like a fucking Barbie doll. Like
They're all Barbie
exactly
dolls.
how you think a Barbie would talk.
That's where Adolf's
They're
taking
alphas.
me.
They have to Barbie dolls.
God.
you engaging tonight? I'm not sure.
Engage
Actually,
everything.
I'm not engaging anyone.
Fuck everything that moves.
Try everything.
Just
Try
like Thomas
everything.
says, people gossip.
Fucking
Everyone's
hedonism,
starting
man.
to whisper about you. They say you've only engaged one man in the
Hedonism
last
is a
3
virtue
weeks.
here, don't you hear?
True. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you
it's
know,
not even a virtue, it's
millennials
a
are
norm.
killing everything.
It's
You know,
what you do
You
on
have to
Tuesday.
do something about it. I have, really. I went to a dispenser, but you know what they're like. Take 2 Soma and go to bed. Synthetic therapy sessions with an idealist, VPS treatments, even a pregnancy substitute. But nothing seems to help. I just don't know what's wrong with me.
She's on the pill.
Uncomputocepted female. Uncomputocepted female. You forgot to set your computoception dial on your Malthusian belt. I'm always doing that.
What the fuck?
Sometimes I wish I'd been incubated as a neutered free martin. Just think, they can engage all they like without having to fuss about computoception. Here, let me help. You don't want to.
She's on the pill. Uh-oh. You
Did
don't
you
want to
do
get
the
pregnant.
drill yesterday? I
That'll
think
fuck
so.
your Instagram career up.
Oh, I must have, because I engaged one of the assistant fertilization engineers on the compulsive leisure hour. You know, the tall one.
She
Just
fucking
set
her
the dial
break.
to the next one. Remember, day plus 1 equals none. Day plus 1 equals none.
This is fucked up. This is a really fucked up film. I mean, you talk
Hi,
about
Selena
cosmic
Shell.
horror. This is fucking.
Chief warden for the reservation. I understand you got in yesterday and rested over. Proper acclimatization, that's the thing. I suppose you stayed at the Lux Hotel at the Rocket
These are
Fort?
just
Yes,
like the
and it was
Eloy
just
from
as
Time
nice as
Machine.
could be.
We're quite
What's
proud
up
of
now?
it. Liquid
The
air,
Eloy,
vibro
the
vacuum
food
massage,
for the
sensoophilia vision in every
the
room.
monsters.
But of course you won't find any of that on the
Live
reservation, I'm
underground in the
afraid.
distant
Oh,
future in Time
you
Machine.
mean this isn't part of the reservation?
Oh no, this is the official Anthro study station.
Oh,
The
yeah,
reservation
Morlock, the
itself
food
is
for
some
the Morlocks.
distance.
They're so
It's quite remote and
Eloy are
completely
so
sealed
happy
off by an
and content in their
electronic
world
barrier.
that they
But you'll be taken directly to our substation by escorter. From there, I'm afraid you'll have to go on foot. Of course, you'll have a guide.
Yeah, I
They're
mean,
Delta
it
minuses,
really does
but
feel like
all
something
specially
out of
incubated
H.G.
for high
Wells.
eye, ear, nose acuity. Though unfortunately,
they
at
don't
the
eat
expense
meat.
of some other
For fuck's
faculties.
sake, why are they eating
Well,
meat?
first we better see if you're properly outfitted.
It's
Ion heater,
barbaric.
sensitive thermal bag, extra soma and amphetamine rations, condensed syntho food, ultrasonic microbomb pop popper. You know how to fire this, of course. Safety off. Aim. Press firmly on the clip. It's entirely non-lethal. It merely causes temporary paralysis.
The savages. I mean, if they're dangerous, I certainly wouldn't want to expose Miss Lysenko.
Oh, no, it's simply a precaution. Actually, the savages are quite tame. Well then, if you're ready, I'll show you to the escorter. This way. It's so seldom anyone visits the Savage Reservation. I rarely have the opportunity to show off our treasures.
Being like Planet of the
What
Apes.
is that? Just some examples of our fauna, but they have all been conditioned to remain within the hunting preserve set aside for the savages.
No, I meant this.
Oh, just one of their cult superstitions meant to frighten off demons. In fact, their religion seems to be based partly on demonology.
What sort of demons?
Almost anything at all. Rocks, trees, animals, sometimes strangers. Like you.
Foreshadowing.
They must have come almost a mile by now.
Yes. One moment.
This is like some
How
like
far
this
is
is
the
Mr.
Savage
After 2000 shit.
What? He's just
No,
waiting
no,
out
no,
there
no,
for
no, no,
them?
no, not where is it? How far? There.
It's the Spurg. Literally, this is exactly like our world. They have the Spurgs, they have the fucking Alphas, they have the Chads, they have the Stacys, they have the fucking everything.
All government manufactured.
Yeah.
And they're actually efficient.
Then the Gammas are the least of our problems. Yeah, again, this is why I don't buy into the whole Alpha, Beta, Gamma shit. It's
Those
just a
things
label.
that they're putting into their mouths. What are they doing that for? Stop it!
They're eating them.
They're
Eating them, but how can they? They're just dirty things from the ground. They're not even wrapped in plastic. Don't they know any better?
Of course they don't.
They're not biodegradable,
They're not
guys. They're not even biodegradable. They have BPA in them.
Stop it, that's enough. Oh, stop it.
Berg shall inherit the earth. This is true. Because everyone else is killing each other.
Why'd you do that? Why are they acting like that? Hitting, laughing, crying. It's weird.
It must be some sort of aberrational pattern. I hear there once was a thing called madness in primitive times. Yes, that must be what it is.
Madness.
Maybe we better get away from them. It might be catching.
Yeah, you don't want to catch those dank beats.
Boy, fascinating. I really should do a psychograph readout. Perhaps on the degenerative effect of non-decantation.
Wow.
Yes. I think this was just the thing that would look really good on my computer file.
This will look great on my Instagram. Literally, he's talking about making selfies. He's talking about doing Instagram fodder shit.
But first, let me take a selfie.
What the fuck? What is that? What is this? Let me guess, they're trying to sacrifice something to Moloch, right?
Move aside. I want to go through.
No. It is forbidden to approach the crucified God. Make it un...
I just want to snap some computer pics. No.
Oh my god, he actually is going after selfie.
In charge around here. I am...
He's so old.
Oh my god.
Linda!
This is the future you have chosen. And you know, guess what? We're still going. I haven't even hit yet.
Ford. Ford.
But I love the marketing on this. You know, pretty interesting. Boomers scared me too, though. By the way, fam. That was the cult of Jordan Peterson, right? Maybe. You have to respect the hierarchy, bro. I think Mustafa Rahman is more like Jordan Peterson, honestly.
Here I am.
This is like a set from fucking Logan's Run. I get like a little bit of Logan's Run vibes.
It was so disgusting. It was so horrible. There was this female. She was actually...
Listen to me. This could be a real coup for me. Sacred artifacts, and I'm told there's a place not far from the village. Possibly, just possibly, there's a whole Model T.
Where?
They call it the Demon's Place. Of course, if you'd rather stay behind while I go,
No. Any place would be better than here.
Here come the bears.
Very civilized savages.
Yeah, they're like the Native Americans, the noble savage, which is not definitely this.
I don't care what he says. I can't go any further.
Oh, don't be a beta, bitch. Yeah, fucking beta, shit.
What is it?
Mescal. A little is good, much is not good.
Wait,
Oh,
mescaline?
how awful.
Well, what are you waiting for? Come on, move along.
Oh boy, it's like Francis Fukuyama, right?
It's
Like
like
when you say
snacks.
something about like people taking meth to essentially to keep working, same shit.
They're Scooby snacks.
The Flintstone vitamins. Yeah, no, seriously, they're plugging their substance from the Flintstone vitamins.
time for summer, bye.
Yes, Tomakin.
more soma. Or... Oh!
It's like capsule core from DBZ.
Ready?
Just a second.
This is like what happens when white people go camping with Mexicans.
Day plus 1 equals none. No. And 2. No. 1.
Oh my God, she forgot to take the pill. Uh-oh.
Coming, Tomakin.
I think she just took it.
Well, you know, again, I'm not one of those people who knows how to. I'm not real versed in feminine. It literally looks like it's the white. It's the upper middle class with the chaperones.
Is that all you want? I'm just trying to be a little quieter.
No. The evil one that becomes the spirit of wild animals, Satan.
Nonsense. Whatever it is you're muttering about, just leave us alone.
Hey! Get away! No, the evil one, Satan.
Well,
Where?
we'll just see about that.
Linda! No! No!
What?
Oh no! Oh whoa!
Oh no!
Oh wow!
Did you? What happened?
What the fuck?
Wait.
Doing too much drugs. Oh wow!
Was that the gun?
I guess this is a gun. I guess they have like a. I guess it's like one of those airbush pistols or something.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's pretty
Linda?
fucked up.
Oh no!
Oh no! Anyway, then what's the condition not to give a shit?
After that, he seems to have wandered alone for several days before being found by a search heli-rocket sent out by Chief Warden Stelina Shell. Apparently, he initially suffered from deconditional hallucinations, something about demons and sacred relics, according to the Chief Warden.
Yes, spiritual psychosis. Always a danger upon contact with viviparous primitives. I presume he was given the required soma decompression therapy.
Yes, and he was completely cured. And subsequent tests showed that he conformed to the proper socio-psy norms.
Then he can still be computogrammed to rise at least one more level before any disabling incompetency factor has to be seriously considered. The female companion, Linda Lysenko. No trace of her was found.
No trace. But of course there was no practical reason for searching. Her body would have begun to decompose and would have been much too contaminated for phosphorus chemocoupling.
Oh, now the. What's this gonna be?
Oh, it's her. There she is.
Tomakin.
Uh-oh. That ain't right.
Tomakin.
Oh, she's left behind.
Get away from me.
She's doing the whole Paris Hilton surreal life shtick.
I don't belong here. I may as well have died.
Fucking white people,
Not that
man.
I mind dying. I had very high marks in death appreciation when I was a child. Get away!
Really fucking weird. You'll know why 1984 was less of a black pill than this. Yeah, this is more of a black pill because 1984 they have the goddamn comic currency to shoot you. Here they just say everything's happy. It's a delusional sense of grandeur.
They're
Man.
the ones. It's all their fault.
Which one?
Both of them.
That is impossible. Which? Must the truth be torn from your tongue?
Both of them. Both of them. Horrible savages. Get them away from me. I want Tomakin back.
Oh,
Then it was the one from the other place.
Tomakin. Tomakin.
It's justice, dude. It's like it's not this Mason, it's that Mason.
Since
Which
it was the other, you may stay.
Stay. Stay here? What are you talking about? Get me some soma. Anything. Can't you see that there's something wrong with me? Probably caught one of your horrible primitive diseases. It makes me feel like this every morning.
Like, how would she fare in
And
like a
look.
test tube environment? She's basically
That is
bubble
because
babe.
of the child.
Child.
Baby.
Baby?
Because you are pregnant.
Pregnant?
I go? This is really fucking sad. I don't know. You know what's sad is that the assembly line really isn't worth it. Marks Bernard, Teddy Spaghetti.
Yeah, at least in 1984,
yes.
there was a sense of resistance and people
A
being
male
broken.
child. I don't care. But you must choose a name for him.
Oh, she's like a 30-year-old
while
thought
the evening
now.
star bears the fullness of moon. I don't care. But without a name, the goddess of light cannot touch breath to his lips. One.
John, I don't care. Get out. Leave me alone.
That is actually a good question, Mr. Marcus of the Death Rats. She's fucked so many people. I wouldn't be surprised if that what's it, the placenta, whatever that's called, where everybody basically.
Well, yeah, well, I think he was just pregnant from the last person because she, you know, how she mismanaged the pregnancy device.
No one will ever.
She's no longer on the pill. Boy.
After the orgy services, I've got tickets to the new Ophelia run.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll be ready right after work.
God, they're like fucking R-selected assholes. Guy just dies, he gets reconditioned, and he starts fucking him more. I mean, Jesus Christ.
That's all they do. Live for pleasure and seek more pleasure.
Wrong. Alcohol added to Alpha Plus bottle. Wrong.
Uh-oh.
The girls make a lot of mistakes in this movie, I notice.
Well, that's because they're women. I'm serious. No.
No. It is a secret wine. Nectar potion. It is only meant to anoint you with.
But I don't have any soma.
Dude, she's a junkie. Wow. Alrighty.
Synthopituitary extract levels, satisfactory. Hyperoxygenation level, satisfactory. Final DNA genetic scansion level.
An Alpha Plus bag of Bernard Marks. Of course, it should have been caught earlier on the production line. The chief quality engineer seems to think some of the alcohol for substunting epsilon embryos got into this alpha bag by mistake, but of course that's quite impossible with the zero flow procedures I've instituted. Probably some clerical mix-up before the raw material for the unit reached my division. But I can assure you that I intend to institute increased computer control.
Yes, I'm sure. Are there any other production defects?
Oh, no. Just one random mistake of some sort.
A random error. Interesting.
He's like the evil, like the Indian version of Spock. Like, I'd imagine I'd see him in.
Oh, that's his poem. That was his poem. That was his poem.
No, proceed with the assembly.
What now?
That was the poem he wrote about random mutation.
Who?
That poem that he said about he talked about a random piece of paper or article he wrote years ago.
Oh. Oh, I see. We're starting to see some
delivery. Oh, 9 months have passed. I get it.
Glad they didn't have forks delivered, honestly. At least that way we'd be somewhere in reality.
Male Alpha Plus, Mark Bernard G. Inspected and approved.
Case number 8, Raquel Gandhi, Beta Minus, Eradication and Rectification Technician. Consistent failure to share an orgy-porgy devotional services. Recommendation, Re-Education Center of Subject's Choice.
Approved.
Case number 9,
I guess
Plus, age
Indian
6.
guys playing God, I guess.
Yeah, the alcohol error has disrupted this child, and it's not fitting in with his conditioning.
Failure to conform to prescribed intellectual achievement norms.
He hasn't been able to keep up intellectually with other alpha children.
Just the opposite. It appears he overabsorbed his rote studies in less than the time frame allotment. A distinct pattern of deviant overintelligence.
I see. And the recommendation in Bernard's case?
Removal to a reconditional nursery for infants and older children.
Denied. But I want to be kept informed of Bernard's progress.
Alrighty.
Oh.
Because Gray is the nicest.
How lucky to be a Delta and get to wear blue.
Stupid and not too bright.
So glad to be a Beta. Betas don't? How lucky to be an Alpha. Everyone is happy.
Attention, Central Nurseries Depot.
Everyone's happy.
Ward 1, Electrostall 9, Marks,
And
Bernard
you never
G,
have to do
rectify.
awful things like Betas, or Gammas, or Deltas, or Epsilons.
He's curious.
How lucky
Yeah.
to be an Alpha.
This is why I like chaos.
Lucky
'Cause
to be an
I like having a little bit of spice with all the sugar.
Sleep refreshes. Sleep revives. Sleep refreshes. Sleep revives. Sleep is nice. Sleep is good. Sleep is what everyone should.
And never have to do awful things like Betas, or Gammas, or Deltas.
Meanwhile,
Or epsilons.
Mother?
Yeah.
No. I told you. Don't ever call me that awful name. I told
I'm
you,
not
I told
your
you,
mother.
John. Linda. Can't you learn to say that?
Yes, Linda. What are chemicals?
How would I know?
It's your book, Linda.
Well, that doesn't mean I know what chemicals are.
Where do chemicals come from?
We're from the chemical supply depot, of course. If someone wants chemicals, the chemical workers bring chemicals.
Where does
Like
the
anything else.
boxes come from? They come from Amazon warehouse, guys. What it is?
Awful
Amazon
place.
warehouse.
If you want syntho food, the workers bring syntho food. If you want plastic clothes, the plastic clothes workers bring plastic clothes. Whatever
You
you,
mean
want.
Amazon?
I wish I could go there, Linda.
Oh, I wish I could too. Everything's so perfect there. Everything's there you could want. And anything you want, you can have. Anything. And if you're ever blue, wonderful pills that never make you feel bad afterwards, like the mezcal here.
Mescal. Oh, they're doing mescaline. Oh, fuck.
And immoral. In the other place, everyone engages with everyone the way they should. And you can engage all the time with anyone you want.
Like Pele?
Oh, no. I'd never bother engaging with someone like Pele in the other place.
Can't we go there, please?
You don't understand. Too late. Too late.
Hey,
it's so weird. They never bother to try to get that.
hey, see what I got in mezcal.
Oh, let me have some, Pele, please.
Sure,
She
be a
is
little one.
Run out and
not
play,
funny.
John.
I don't want to.
Come on, John.
I think we'd all can relate. Mom's a drug addict.
Uh-oh.
That's a fucking junkie.
Oh.
Little wolves have little fangs.
What kind of threat is that?
The Savage World seems kind of a utopian in its own way, though.
It is.
There
It
doesn't
is
seem to be-
utopian. I mean, everyone's happy, but the problem here, and this is something I've always agreed with, is the notion that you have to have some sunlight to go with the shadow. You have to have it.
Well, Lord Marks again. Still refusing to
But it
participate.
doesn't feel at all like a savage hangout, though. It feels like just a place where you can choose to have pain while still having all your desires met.
Oh, well, Bernard.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind,
Like
this
the
is a reservation. They have their own ecosystem.
I see. Sit down, Bernard. No, there, in the vibro water chair. Comfy. Now, Bernard, do you want to play Hunt the Zipper?
No.
This went dark quickly.
You really do want to play?
Why?
No.
Well. Let me ask you again, Bernard. Do you want to be allowed to go back to your erotic training class
and play hunt the zipper with all the other boys and girls.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Fine.
Ah, he learns.
Now run along back and play.
He learns to be a little sex addict.
Well, a little
that's
shock
what
therapy. A little shock therapy does that.
He does seem to be a bit of a
kids whores for their fucking pedophile masterminds, right?
One of the school's psychosex therapists.
Whatever you say, of course.
Oh yeah, this is totally our timeline.
He's so little for his age, hardly bigger than a gamma. You know, they say some alcohol got into a son of blood surrogate while he was still in the bag.
Yes, yes. I've heard that too. Still, you must admit he is brilliant.
Oh, and things like computer reading and play math, yes. But he completely failed desensitivity training 1A. Personally, I think he should be put into a remedial conditioning class.
Yes.
Needs to go to that special needs
Only
class.
the Moral Reformation Institute. However, the fact is, Miss Arco, that for whatever reason, Mustafa Mond himself seems to take a special interest in little Bernard. And if the first assistant Western World Controller is interested in him, well, then, of course, we are too. Aren't we, Miss Arco?
Yes, we certainly are.
What about Pavlovian conditioning?
A book.
Yeah.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good market of his time be but to sleep and feed, a beast no more?
Leave her alone!
You know what she is? Yes, I know. She is my mother.
But who is your father? Say that with truth.
Tomikin! Tomikin! Now leave!
It's like the story of young Owen
I was
Benjamin.
just trying to be good and do the right thing. Engaging one is bad. Having two is good. Having three is best. 4, 5, 6 is a perfect mix. 7, 8, 9 whenever there's time.
Wow, holy shit. She's fucking like 5 or
Everyone
6
in civilized
men.
knows
Wow.
that.
Oh yeah, they're the
No,
wives of the husbands.
Pele because he's drunk and won't work, and no one else wants to.
No, not him.
I know it's immoral to engage only Pele, but what can I do when...
Almost pernicious woman. Oh, lecherous creature that dust and venom lashes with the bile.
Oh, say something nice for Linda. From the old book.
She's called her a cunt and fucking Shakespearean.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. That's what that is.
About the pretty lady sleeping. Tell me that one again. Please. Oh, please.
But now sleep. Sleep and see what visions I have seen. Towers cloud-capped, and men that like angels fly. Thither shall we go, you and I. Wow. Sub-perfection and gorge are filled with divinity.
I never actually listened to Shakespeare that much. I like it, but I never have the time for it. You know?
All right, sir. Central hatchery, red beam, first level.
Follow the proper beam to the proper exportation.
Bernard Mark. Oh, Helmholtz.
Hey. Spaghetti. Oh my god, dude. It's Jenny Spaghetti.
All right,
He's
sir.
an elf after all.
Miss Trotsky? Miss Meyer? Miss Rothschild?
Wait, what? Miss Rothschild?
Didn't I order a computer projection feasibility chart on increased production of Delta Pluses?
Yes, Director.
But it's not there.
No, Director.
Then where exactly is it?
It was supposed to be done by Bernard Marx. He's the new assistant computologist.
Oh, yes, I know the one. A very spotty moral record, to say the least. Brilliant, I suppose, but only his Fordship Mustafa Mon didn't take such a peculiar interest in him. But if he's fallen down on assignment... Thank you.
Yes, Director.
Little King Spaghetti. Doesn't it look like him? He has the same like eyes and everything
Hello, Bernard.
in shape.
Oh, Henry, am
Not
I
saying that
interrupting
Foxley
something
had
terribly
fetal alcohol
important?
poisoning
No,
or something, but
just
I
doing
mean,
a
he
current
does
inventory on
look like
Epsilon production.
I just wanted to make sure it is tonight I'm engaging you.
Yes. I'm going to pick you up after work. You didn't forget, did you?
Oh, no. I just wanted to make sure. I'll be ready. Bye, Bernard.
Lenina.
what happens
Yes,
when you
Bernard?
combine Tinder with real life.
Goodbye.
Aw.
Mr. Marks, I believe you were told to compute or project the production feasibility rates of increased Delta production.
Yes, Director.
Then where, may I ask, is the report?
Here, sir.
Here. And not on my desk computer
He's an
screen.
alpha. He's an
Then it's
alpha
late.
alpha.
Yes, Director. Unfortunately, I had to revise some of the definitional input from your office, but I think you'll find it all here now. End-use allocation percentages, sub-intensive maximization of assembly personnel units, and a recommendation to rectify some of the declining production numbers. And
Yes. Well, we shall see. We shall just see.
Poor Spurg. He's outside of his caste.
Bernard! Hello again. I tried to catch you this morning so we could escapade here together. Here? I thought you were working on a new feeling. I was, but then the producer came up with a notion for a docu-jingle. On the Central Hatcheries plant. That's interesting, sort of. You must be very happy. Yes, of course. Especially since they selected me over several other jingle writers.
Hi. Are you engaging anyone tonight?
In a dystopia, the black man raps.
Yeah, I'm tied up at work.
Like fucking.
Too bad. Maybe next time.
Women, they can be such a distraction, don't you think? Really? How about engaging me tonight, Lenina?
Oh, I can't, Benito. I'm engaging Henry Exxon. But ask me again.
I can't fuck you tonight. Like seriously, why didn't they just?
I'm having an man tonight.
Talking like that, he does a joke. You've complained sometimes. I've heard you. Yes, but not over something trivial like that. Bernard, I have to go to a jingle board conference. Stop by and see me sometime. It's just not trivial.
Hi again.
I saw you with
Little Vox Day can't compete with the Austrian models.
Bernard and I have never engaged each other. Maybe Bernard doesn't think I'm pneumatic enough.
I think you're very pneumatic. Don't forget about the vacation trip, Lenina. You going on vacation with him?
Maybe. I suppose you've decided which girl you're going to take on yours.
No?
Well, I just can't make up my mind either. Benito asked me, and Henry Exxon,
It's
and the
striking,
Kid
isn't it?
Firestone. I just don't know.
Oh,
I want to go somewhere different this time. Somewhere special. Well, I guess I better be going.
I mean,
Henry'll be waiting for me.
if one thing's constant enough, I mean, at least the girls still want something that's
I
exclusive,
expect
right?
young Marx would soon want to do something quite out of the ordinary. I see no reason not to grant his request. But you don't agree.
Well, I know Bernard Marx is a special project of yours. But no one's been allowed to visit the Savage Reservation since Thomas Graham Bell.
All the more reason. We can see how he reacts to Bernard's going. Of course, it is young Marx I'm interested in. As you say, a special project. If a random variant like Bernard proves to be socially adaptable, it might mean that certain mutations in the assembly process would be useful.
Of course, he could be psycho-emotively disordered by his exposure to the freedom of the reservation.
Yes, and then he would be quite useless for further testing. Perhaps if a normative factor is controlled in, a female.
This is some dark shit.
Permission to take one
They're
along.
playing, like people's lives. It's really fucked up.
Yes. A beta
They're all
technician in
hopelessly autistic.
Lenina
And
does
that's
People
autistic too.
autistic on purpose. They're making people, you know, Chad. They're like making the Chad genealogy push
You're
around.
actually going off on your vacation trip with little Bernard Marx.
Yes.
He's going with little taste spaghetti.
Why?
No one ever goes anywhere with him.
I know, but this is something different. special. Bernard has permission to go to the Savage Reservation. Almost no one except the director himself has ever been there. Besides, I like Bernard.
But don't you like everything? So what the fuck does it matter?
There's something about him that's so cuddly.
Cuddly indeed.
Bernard, it's all set. I've arranged my computer leave so I can go to the Savage Reservation with you.
That's wonderful.
Of course, we should engage at least once before we go. Otherwise,
We gotta
people will start
fuck one
talking.
time.
Maybe
We gotta get a
tomorrow
quick.
night. If I shift around,
Could we possibly go somewhere private to discuss this?
whatever for. Besides, I don't have time right now.
Come on, Lenina. We're going to be late for the Sensufili.
Just a second.
Is that? Hold on.
Tomorrow night, I'm sure I
Chase
can fit you in.
Chase having to compete with fucking Chad Thundercuck over there. And I kind of think the guy looks a little bit too much
Going off
like
on
Red
vacation
Brown.
with Lenina, huh?
He looks like Red Brown.
Boy, you'll enjoy engaging. I always do. I don't care, and I don't want to hear about it. You seem upset about something. Maybe you've been working too hard, remember? Work to play and play to work. A little soma. That'll fix you up. Remember, soma a day.
I don't need any soma, and I don't want any soma.
You don't want
How
any
about
weed. I don't want any weed. I don't want
Maybe
your
a
fucking.
violent passion surrogate treatment. Sometimes that does wonders. You're right.
Just step into the psycho porter, sir.
It is fucking. It totally fucking is.
Let's make sure you're all comfy and secure in there.
We have electrode contact.
Yes, all in order. Now, what would your preference be? An Inquisition torture chamber? A pirate raid?
Ooh.
Perhaps you'd like to try one of our new gangster rub-out treatments. Something of a novelty, but we've had excellent results with them so far.
What's your strongest treatment?
The Gladiator Circus, number 4. But I wouldn't recommend that for you, sir. It can be quite demanding physically. Besides, only betas and alphas are allowed to.
I am an alpha. Can't you see what I'm wearing?
Yeah, he's an
I
alpha.
thought there'd been some
Little
slight
Teddy can
confusion.
take it.
Don't think so. Number 4, thank you.
Yes, sir. Whatever you wish.
Oh boy. I guess he's going into like VR or something.
Yeah, it's a feelings. It's like it's a movie where you can actually experience what they're experiencing.
He's basically doing Oculus Rift, man.
Only more realistic.
Oh, so like
I know lag
station-
time.
So the pain station with Oculus Rift then. So he gets to take damage like electric. And this is how Taste Spaghetti got exposed. This is like Taste Spaghetti and Red Pill right now. That was pretty fucking intense.
He's hyped.
His little height. He's so small because he's fetal alcohol poisoning.
Would you like to try a different one?
Thank you. I'm just, there's some things that I have to think about. Consider.
Think.
Looks like the rollerball. You might be right about that.
Be an alpha.
And how lucky we are to be Gamma. After all,
To be good is gamma, because gamma is good.
You know, I could bet you we could fuck with Fox Stage just by saying these quotes.
I think about her all the time, and what's worse is that now that I'm taking her on vacation with me, I feel even more wanting about her.
Oh, where are you going to? One of the new Luxo camps?
No, Savage Reservation.
Really? Really? How did you manage that?
Oh,
Maybe something like that is what I need. You know how distracting everything can be. Too many awards, too many girls, too much of everything.
oh yes.
Sometimes
so much.
I wish I
man.
were young again and just starting out like you.
Helmholtz, you're successful, you're talented.
Yes, it's true. Everyone says I've written some of the finest contemporary jingles. Still, lately I've had this strange, troubling feeling that there must be something more I can write about, something different.
Really? Like what?
Well, like the senso emotions in the sensophilies and VPS cubicles. Just suppose that people could really feel those things: love, hate, passion, jealousy.
Now, look here, Helmholtz. Suppose somebody should hear you talking like that. The both of us could be sent to reconditioning centers, or even to one of those free islands, like Iceland or Madagascar. And you know what that means? No soma, no amphetamine.
No amphetamines? What the fuck?
You're right, of course. We shouldn't let ourselves talk like this. I shouldn't even let myself think about such things.
Yeah.
I wish my problems were simple like yours. Simple? Of course. If you want this, Lenina, just tell her. What could be any simpler?
Yeah, I mean, just go tell her you like her, Vox. Come on.
It works for everyone else.
Yeah, no, seriously, just tell the girl how you really feel. Even in this retarded world. Of course, Teddy's getting really tough up now.
Well,
Sorry,
it's been nearly an hour. Do you think we should take a break?
Let's take a break. I think we're good for now. It's been an hour. We'll continue this at some other time. But yeah.
But yeah, I have to admit, this is actually the production value, like the way this is made, really emphasizes how strange and bizarre this world would be.
It almost makes it sort of a it complements it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like the old world, the weird like bright lights of the 70s / early 80s. It kind of makes everything look dated. It's like watching Gunsmoke, like the Technicolor. Like they're not quite Technicolor, but they're not quite, modern technology video productions. Plus it's the BBC, so they wouldn't spend much money into it anyhow. But it adds to the fear factor.
Yeah.
And which is really sad is that the majority our world is basically becoming that. Everyone's taking pills, everyone's on birth control, everyone's taking Xanax cocktails, Adderall. You have the fucking Spurgs that are basically just manual labor. They have retard strength. Then you have everyone trying to be like Chad and Stacy's and all. It's basically the world we live in right now. It's really fucked up.
Except without the efficiency of mind control and caste systems.
Well, I don't know about that. Give it a generation. I mean, we already have a caste system technically. We have the boomers on top. We have the Gen Xers in the middle. We have the millennials. Then we have the fucking Zoomers.
Online mostly, but it's all. The YouTube must have reset for something.
Let them reset. It don't matter. But so far we haven't been hit by a copyright strike.
No.
You want to keep going, or we can keep going? I don't care.
I don't know. I'm kind of tired, honestly.
Absolutely.
As interesting as the show is, I mean, it's still we still have 2 other hours to go, so.
So then we'll do it another time, I think.
This is interesting. We'll get it done before Christmas. Though. We'll get it done before the new year. We should get it done before the new year. We will get it done before the new year. Yeah,
we get it done for the new year, and at the same time, I think it's interesting. I think this is something that needs to be explored a bit more because, again, I've talked about it before on this podcast, and I've talked about it, or not on this podcast, but on the Renegade podcast, how Huxley basically was he was a Fabian socialist, believe it or not. Do you know what a Fabian socialist is?
What's the Fabian part?
The Fabian socialist, those who are basically gradual socialists. They want socialism, but not through evolution, but simply through gradual, over time, progressive socialism.
So like the Democrat Party.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing about Fabian socialists. They want socialism, they want communism, but what they want is they want gradual state control, gradual taxing, gradual, socialist walks to socialism. That's what they want. See if I can find it. Let me look up the clip, because I will say this about Mr. Smackhead Huxley. Because if you know anything about Huxley, he was a eugenicist. Huxley. Eugenics. So I'll pull it up for you. Let's see. Because I know that... yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is something that's interesting. This is from a blog post, and I'll keep this up for those who want to keep watching this shit, because we figured it would be fun. The life and legacy of Julian Huxley. This is Aldous' brother. Over the course of the lifetime, Julian Huxley developed a multifaceted position regarding eugenics, the applied science of improving the genetic composition of the human population. Eugenicists thought to achieve this goal through both encouraging reproduction among fit individuals, quote-unquote fit, and discouraging breeding among unfit population. Huxley's position on eugenics was detailed below in an analysis of several of the most influential publications on eugenics, education, and race. Keep in mind, you have to understand that a lot of this eugenics shit was done specifically to, go after certain ethnic minorities in the population. Let's see. Race. In his 1933 paper, wow, that's actually pretty interesting. The Vital Importance of Eugenics, his 1946 publication of the goals of UNESCO, which UNESCO, for those of you who don't know who UNESCO is, let's see. UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, is a specialized agency of the United Nations. So this guy was working for the United Nations, okay? So that's really fucking freaky. Then on top of the fact, let's see. So we have eugenics, and also let's see if I have the Huxley and Darwin. Let's see, Darwin.
A novel that predicted that someday the entire world would live under a frightful dictatorship. Today, Mr. Huxley says that his fictional world of horror is probably just around the corner for all of us.
Uh-oh.
Personal forces which are pushing in the... There are a number of impersonal forces which are pushing in the direction of less and less freedom. The
which would be you.
Can be called overpopulation, the whole essence of biological life.
Of course, in this video, Huxley reveals himself to be very economically illiterate, because overpopulation was really an exaggeration, never really became a problem, because we didn't really run out of resources, because when we had more people, we found more resources, and we found a way to manage the resources.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could create more resources. In fact, oftentimes economic, I should say, being fiscally thrifty is at the same time being economically efficient. You can be economically efficient and fiscally thrifty. You can be resource thrifty. I'm very resource thrifty. I love the idea of recycling. I mean, we have CRV. A lot of this stuff it works. But I wanted to share this with you because we're going to go into more of the Huxley shit before we go back to Mr. Smacky Mag.
What do we got here?
Thomas Henry Huxley, born May 4th. May the force be with you. 1825 to June 29th. June 29th, 1895, was an English biologist and an anthropologist specialized in comparative anatomy. He is known as Darwin's bulldog for his advocacy of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. The story regarding Huxley's famous debate in 1860s with Samuel Wilberforce were a key moment in the wider adoptance of evolution and his own career. Now, keep in mind about evolutions. Do you know what the original terminology for the original title for evolution, right?
Please remind us.
For those of you who don't know, the original title for Darwin's Origin of Species was called The Origin of Species for the Preservation of the Favored Races and Their Struggle to Survive. So, all the SJWs out there, which I'm going to use this against the SJWs. I will literally go, activate the SJWs in college, and I'm going to do it. You wait till I fucking say, Darwin was a racist, and here's all the evidence I have. I could literally activate an entire army of SJWs and make them go after the fucking teacher. You want to get evolution out of school? Show Darwin for being the bigot that he is. I kid you not. It's easy.
Well, but of course, in our circles, he technically is not completely insane, but he's a good tool for. He's a troll tool.
Yeah, exactly. He's a troll tool, but at the same time, people talk about race realism. Keep in mind, Darwin was the guy who essentially. We're gonna go for it till maybe 15 more minutes or so before 1 hour of video, 30 minutes of commentary, and then we'll call it quits for tonight. Darwin started his whole theory of evolution with the notion that races exist automatically. He didn't come to the conclusion by himself. He didn't say, "Hey, look at all this genetic drift." He started with the notion that races exist. He started the notion of basically that that races exist and we're trying to struggle to survive, as opposed to somebody like, let's say, John. This is his name, not John Locke. What is his name? Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, who is another proponent of a different theory of evolution. Greetings, Captive Thoughts. That's, what is his name?
Pastor Tom.
Pastor Tom. Good to see you, man. We might have you on a couple times, sometime in the future. But in reality, there's this huge, push from Darwinism, from Huxley, and we know that Julian Huxley was working in eugenics. We know that Darwin was a fucking racist. Let's see if I find it here. Give me 1 second. Family tree. Let's see if I can find the Huxley family tree. There we go. What is this? What the fuck is this?
Ben Stein's expelled.
Who's
relevant clip. A relevant clip for us.
Relevant. All right, let's take a look.
Well, since Darwin's coming up all the time, let's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where's the clip? Oh, come on, this is such a big video. Could show the clip already. Evolution.
With savages, the weak in body or mind are soon eliminated. We, civilized men, on the other hand, do our utmost to check the process of elimination. We build asylums for the imbecile, the maimed, and the sick. Thus, the weak members of civilized societies propagate their kind. No one who has attended to the breeding of domestic animals will doubt that this must be highly injurious to the race of man. Hardly anyone is so ignorant as to allow his worst animals to breed. Charles Darwin, The Descent of Man, 1871.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That is really, really, really fucked up. Let's see if I can find it. I'm trying to find the connection between Huxley and that fucking. Because I know that, for instance, that the Huxleys were breeding with the Darwins at one point. There were people actually intermarrying. Like, for example, here's an example of a partial Huxley family tree. So, this is the reason why I think that there is a questioning of evolution that should be in order, at least in this time period. Especially when you realize that Thomas Huxley was basically, he was pushing he was pushing evolution, the theory of evolution at the time, from Darwin, and then at the same time you have Leonard Huxley and Julia Arnold. They gave, and Leonard Huxley and Rosalind Bruce. They had kids. Bruce Huxley had kids, and eventually Angela Huxley and George Pember Darwin. So yeah, there is a connection here between Huxley and these bloodlines. So it makes you wonder, like, how much of this Brave New World shit really is like being as a plot, as a plan, because so much of it has come to pass. We already have kids being on drugs. We already have, this wide acceptance of sex and drugs and rock and roll and all this other shit. People living for themselves. How much of this is legitimately real? And eventually,
of course, they're not happy. But of course, the difference is that they're not happy.
Well, they're not happy because again, they're marketing it to us, but that doesn't mean that we want it. No one here wants it.
It's not our nature to really want it. I mean, we on a sinful level, we crave it and desire it because it's sin, but we can't live on it.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's sin. I would say it's I don't want to say it's evolution, but it's biological. I mean, don't you ever have that gut feeling that you want to just punch a motherfucker and solve everything with your fists?
Oh, every time I look on the news feed.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's natural. It is a natural, but just because it's natural doesn't mean it's right. There are people who I really want to just bite the head off, and I have to just say, no, it's not acceptable. You can't get away with it. Shouldn't do it now.
We're not savages. We can't do that.
We are civilized men. We kill each other with dueling. No, but in all honesty, we're gonna keep going through this, and I'm gonna keep getting more stuff, and eventually, after the end of this, hopefully, I'll have some contact with a gentleman. Let's just say he was one of the first people who gave DMT to. He was the first person to give DMT to Joe Rogan. If you know who that is, I've spoken about. He was a big advocate of drugs, but then eventually he realized that a lot of this Huxley stuff was going on, and he was one of the few people I've spoken about him on my podcast before, who exposed MK Ultra. He found out that all this Huxley was basically eugenicist and working with MK Ultra. We'll talk about that eventually, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'll get him on, and we'll have a conversation about that when this is all over. But we're gonna get through this. Go ahead, play it.
Is to practice death control in a most intensive manner without balancing this with birth control at the other end. In the underdeveloped countries, people have less to eat and less goods, and the central government has to take over more and more responsibility for keeping the ship of state on an even keel. And then, of course, you're likely to get social unrest under such conditions, with again an intervention of the central government. One sees here a pattern which seems to be pushing very strongly towards a totalitarian regime.
It just reminds me of evil. It reminds me of Dracula.
And his deeper emotions, making him actually love his slavery. I mean, I think this is the danger, that actually people may be in some ways happy under the new regime.
They might be.
But they will be happy in a situation where they oughtn't to be happy.
Yeah, and even then, like, let me just say this: happiness is subjective, but like generally speaking, like happiness is a cultural thing. You know, there are Muslims who are happy to get their hand chopped off and happy to beat their wives. There are Americans who are happy to beat the enemy, you know, in a football game. Happiness is very much subjective. This is the reason why I don't like the notion of the Brave New World, because you'd have to have a monoculture. You cannot have difference of opinion. Diversity would not be the strength in that culture, believe it or not. But yeah, now I think we'll leave it there for now. Let's see how long this stays up. Oh, and for those of you out there, if this gets taken down or if it gets flagged or something, I'm going to delete it permanently, but it will be live on BitChute. We're just using this as a streaming service to premiere it, so to speak. So, other than that, Luke, any final thoughts?
Don't take your soma, folks. All take Christ instead.
Take the Jesus juice. Oh, wait, actually, not the Jesus juice. Stay away from the Jesus juice. Take the Jesus, the God pill instead.
The blood of Christ. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. And he made water into wine. You know, so that's all you need. Take the blood of Christ. Follow. You know, look for the truth. The truth is out there. And remember, saving the West is a side quest. This is the Digital Renegade podcast with Track of Brave New World. Out.